I am so excited about this lady right here. My next guest is Missy Reeves. You guys may know and love Missy from her very long career as Jennifer Horton on Days of Our Lives. But once I got to know her, I realized that she had one of the most incredible reshape stories. I mean, just fearless, fearless. Really.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You know, Missy, reshape is...
I feel like we were fearful, but we did.
Well, we're going to get to that
Okay.
then, because in my opinion, you were fearless.
Phew.
You know, reshape is all about encouraging women to reshape their life or an area of their life that isn't serving them or they aren't satisfied with, and just creating a life you love. And I feel like you did that.
You know, I tell my daughter, because she's 27 now and just got married, and I always felt like, as a woman in your home, that I feel like we set the tone for our family. And I feel like we were just at a point where, you know, my husband and I were both working so much, and the kids, I feel like, were sort of being shuttled around, and we just thought, is this really the best life for our family? And we literally went, no, it's not. It's not the best life for our family. And as a woman and a mom and a wife, I just thought, honey, we need to do the best for our family right now, and we're going to move. We're going to move to a new state. My husband was doing music, so we thought, let's go to Nashville. We had just built a house in LA. We sold it. I left my job because one of us had to choose. I mean, we were both just gone so much, and we thought, this is not the best for our kids right now. And I was ready for a little break, and so we sold everything and left. We had no idea what we were doing. I mean,
I just can't.
I just love this. Nashville a couple times.
This is the most fascinating. I mean, I just need to understand how your brain works. So what she's talking about is, you know, had this huge career, both of them in LA, totally settled with 2 kids, and moved to a farm in Nashville,
in the middle of nowhere.
acres. But I want to back it up because we're going to dig in deep to that.
I love it.
But I want to understand too, like so how old were you when you started in this business?
I was 17. I moved here from New York. I had gotten a job on Santa Barbara when it first started, but I originally wanted to be a dancer in New York. So I was doing commercials to pay for my dance class, but then Santa Barbara came up, and I moved here when I was 17, and then they fired me after a year, and they said,
remember that show, Santa Barbara.
Right? Remember? Yeah, remember? It was like the first year I was like, oh, this is amazing.
I got a job.
I've never been to California. Like, I just knew, like, chips. It's California to me from New Jersey. And I was like, I can't believe I'm moving here. So then they fired me a year later. I was ready to go back to the East Coast, and then I got Days of Our Lives and literally have spent my whole life there.
Okay, so you did not always have the dream of being like an actress, right?
Never.
It was you wanted to be a dancer.
I wanted to be a dancer, and acting was the way to pay for my dance classes.
Okay.
Because it was getting expensive. You know, if you want to be a dancer on Broadway, you need to put in the time.
So obviously you're a really good dancer. Have you kept that up?
I was. I haven't kept it up. I mean, I think I am. My kids laugh, but I think I'm okay. I still dance for them at home.
I bet you still have it. I bet
you know,
you still
weddings,
have it.
events, my husband and I will break it out.
Yeah. Then they're like, whoa, back, you know, the crowd backs up to see you guys dance. Okay, so you're still good. Okay, so you and your husband, Scott Reeves, met on Days of Our Lives.
Which was crazy. We weren't even in the same storyline. And we were both dating people at the time. So it's not even, we always say, okay, look what God did. Like, look at his hand in our life. He put us in the same place to work. Didn't really even say 2 words to each other till after he had left.
And that's where you know, when I first met him in person, I saw him, and I was with my business partner, Rebecca, for Reshape, and we were having lunch and just hear everything that he was doing. And I walked up to the table. She didn't tell me who that was, who we were meeting. And I walked up to the table. I'm like, Ryan! That's right. Because he played Ryan on Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
So I was just like, so he left Days of Our Lives, went to Young and the Restless, then went back, or no, then you guys just
it was after he left Days of Our Lives that we actually started dating. It was before he got Young and the Restless. And then he was there, you know, for 13 years. I know.
Like, I thought he had jumped ship. Like, why would you ever leave? Like, why would, you know,
he goes, honey, I'm getting shot in the back. And I was like, oh. That means you can't even go back. He's like, no.
Oh, because like as an actress on a soap opera, you know, like that's the kiss of death.
Get shot in the back.
Really, that's it. There's no coming back from the
Totally. He was such a good sport about it. You know.
So how many years to date have you been on this show?
I started in 1985, and I took a couple little breaks because there is the emotional even though it's the greatest job in the world, I mean, you are like crying, yelling, screaming every single day. And there's just that point where you go, oh, it would be great to take a little break, but there's always the chance you can never go back. I mean, when you say you're going to leave, you always have to know that's it. You may never be able to go back.
And so you were able to do that because for me being in the business, like I understand what you're saying, like being on television, right? And like you're saying, you guys plow through scenes like nobody's been. I mean, your memory, that brain is like, you got that memorization like I don't know how you do it.
It's like 80 scenes a day.
I know.
That we shoot.
I don't understand. It's just that part of your brain, you flex so much.
And it's your muscle.
Your muscle. You're so good at that. I mean, that's a whole nother show.
But now, see, I was watching you, and I was like, "Wow, look at Allie. She is just going through."
No,
like
that's impressive
to me.
Oh, thank you.
Really.
But being on set all day, and like you said, like drawing out all those emotions and being like on, right, ready to perform. It is so physically draining.
Yep.
Like when I get off of this show or whatever I'm doing, that's when I started noticing my health issues.
Yeah.
Is being on set every day. And I was like, wow, like I feel like I have half a life. I get off of set and I am nothing to my family. I can't cook dinner. I can't. So how did you, so that was coming up for you a little bit, right?
It's like you're faking emotions all day long that are, they drain you. Although, it's like I said, it's still the greatest job in the world.
Yes, of course.
And
we don't want to be ungrateful. We get that. But I'm just understanding, like, were you having, like you said, you took a break because you had to kind of reevaluate? Like,
it was more just saying our kids are growing too fast, and we might have to forfeit something that we love so much for family, and that when we did it, we were like, I wish we would have done it sooner, because now our kids are married and we go, oh, aren't you so glad we did that when we did, because we got all these years at home, dinner at the table every night, not the hustle and bustle. And it was, I mean, we're believers, we're Christians, we prayed about it. We were like, Lord, we just feel like this is gonna be the best thing. And Lord, isn't this great? Like, you're gonna think this is so great. We're putting our family first. Literally, we got there, no work. Like, it was literally, we were like,
because you thought no work in Nashville, because at the
thought
time
my husband was doing music.
Okay, so he was doing music. He wasn't in LA at the time.
No, we moved our whole life.
Okay, so he was in Nashville doing music.
Yep.
But you were still working.
I wasn't working at all.
You stopped. You were on your break,
completely.
And that's when the decision came in.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and we were like, we're going. No, I decided to leave, and then we were moving to Nashville, and just not work at all.
So
then
I want to understand that.
Music was gonna. We thought we were
the
like,
music was gonna kick in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was like there was nothing.
Radio silence. Like
radio silence, and we were like, Lord,
what's going on?
Wait a minute. We're doing the best for our family, and like we thought you would provide work for us here, but it was like we were telling God what we wanted Him to do for our life. But I'm telling you, He did something in our life that was the greatest blessing, because we had time.
That's what I was going to say.
Together,
you had time to really, because otherwise you would have been right back into work.
Yes.
So when you, so he's in Nashville. You decided that you're going to make this move to the farm.
Yeah.
And you were going to, something had to give. So you decided to, at the time in your mind, were you quitting your job? Like, were you like stepping away from acting, like I'm done? Or was it in your mind, I'm going to take a break and then see what happens? So that's where you were. I'm going to take a break.
It was more like, well, my dream was I would love to just take a break. And if I can go back once our kids are grown, that would be the best. But I'm not even, that doesn't really happen.
Right.
That was what I was hoping.
That's what you were hoping in your mind.
That's what I was hoping.
And then was there, so when we talked about fear earlier, making that decision, where was the fear? I mean, I know it was there. So, but did you just have?
We really had peace about it. We really felt like we're pretty adventurous. We kind of like to try and do new things.
Very adventurous.
So we were like, you know what? What's the worst thing that could happen? The four of us are together. As long as your family's together, it doesn't matter. Your home could be your truck on your road trip. Your home could be that trailer that we lived in for a year and a half.
She's talking about she lived in an Airstream.
We lived in our trailer.
With a really big dog.
With an English Mastiff and 2 Chihuahuas and a Basset Hound for a year and a half. But the kids were gone. The kids were gone already. And we were like, why not? What's the worst thing that could happen? I mean, we have a home. We have 4 walls.
I love you so much.
They look different.
I can't even. This is what I'm saying. It just really, I think about, from the first time you told me your story, I think about it so often.
Oh my
because
goodness.
so many people in their lives, you have all these grand plans and you're adventurous when you're young and in the beginning of your relationship, and then life happens, and then you get in your job and it's the security of the job, and then the children, and then locked down with the school system, and you want them at the school with the friends, and then you sort of lose all of it. Like, can we travel this year? Can we make a big, like, we're already so settled.
I always feel like you're the mom, you're the wife, you're in charge of your family. Like I'm so realistic. Your kids have to go to school, but I would go in and I would go, how many days are they allowed to be absent before we get in trouble? And they're like 20 days. I said, okay, I'm just telling you right now, we're taking all 20.
Yeah.
And I will make sure that their grades stay where they need to be, but we're taking all 20.
I'm going to use that one. We're taking all our days
We're taking all our days. And, we would just pick up the kids on random days and just take them out to lunch or go on go drive for the day just to get that time together. And we always tell our kids, we're like, there's nothing tragic until something's really tragic. And don't be dramatic. And people are really dealing with
don't sweat the small
things.
Stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Like, until you're dealing with something really hard, don't live in fear, and because the hard stuff does come.
It does.
And there are those times where you're on your knees and you're like, Lord, okay, we know the hard times are coming, and just help us always to come to you in those times. But boy, when it's not hard, we should be so full of joy and so loving and trying to help others. Yeah, right.
Every day.
Right? It's not tragic.
Yeah, you need a book. By the way.
Well, I'm going to do it with you then.
No, you really need a book. Like, I want to read that book and give it to all my friends.
You're so sweet.
So so that decision, I just want to go back to that decision, because I think it's such a pivotal point in people's lives, right? You come to a point where you have a desire, even if it's just a small change in your life, right?
Yeah.
So what is, like, that when that landed on your heart, like, I have the power. I am the head of my family. We are.
Yeah.
And we can make that choice for our family, and it's going to be okay. But what was that internal dialogue? Was it like, we're thinking quality of life, or was it like, this move is going to be good for our souls? Or was it like what was that conversation? Like, what were you guys going back and forth, and what was the why?
I think it was just that yearning, because I know as a woman, I love to be with my kids and my husband. Like, I love it. I love that time together. And after you have kids, you see how fast time goes.
So fast.
And then you go, oh my goodness, it's gone. And I just thought, I know for my husband, if I set a tone in our home, it's everything to him. And I tell my daughter, I'm like, baby, set the tone in your home, because your husband will love it. I'm like, if you need to go cry in the shower. Like, cry it out in the shower.
Like, give me an example of what you, by the way, I should have a pen and writing
I always
notes.
just
give me an example of what you do to set that tone.
Well, I feel like men have so much pressure naturally. I think they feel like they need to provide, they need to protect. And I think that's so much pressure for them. So I go, okay, I know when I met my husband, I was a total slob. He's a total neat freak. So I know when he's home, if I have the house so pretty for him, it totally feels like love for him. He's like, oh my gosh, it smells good and it's so clean and organized. And even if I'm having a hard day, I'm like, but you know what, Lord? You gave me a husband, you gave me children. Like, I want to be joy. I want to be joy for my husband and joy for my kids. And I want to set an example for them, so that then they'll carry that into their homes. Because I feel like the healthier you can make your home as a woman, that goes to your husband and it goes to your children. And trust me, there are days where I'm like, no, I don't want to make you laugh today, and I don't want to clean the house, and I don't want to do laundry, and I don't want to take care of all the animals, and I don't want to mow the lawn, and I don't want to do any of that. But I see how it feeds my family, and then I go, yeah. Then I take it off myself. And I think that is always a message of we're so programmed to think about ourselves all day long. And you go, wait a minute, this life is not about me. Life is about this beautiful man I married. It is about these amazing children that I've been given. And I'm going to take the focus off me. And it's amazing how much fuller I feel when I'm focusing on them. I feel even better than when I'm focusing on myself.
You have it all figured out.
No, not at all. Not at all. But you learn as you get older. But but the other side of it is,
but intuitively,
I eat terribly,
you know
and
all
I don't
these.
take care
You
of
knew
myself.
all these things. Like this is where I think as women we have that daily conversation with ourselves. We fall off. We yell at the kids or set the wrong tone in the house, and then you're backpedaling trying to fix it. But you seem like you intuitively have that gift that you knew what to do.
But you know what? I think I'm 52. I've had so many years to figure it out. But I have met so many moms who have daughters that are 15, and they're like, your daughter, she's so rad. And I'm like, she's rad. But when she was 15, we would scream at each other at full volume in our house.
Okay.
I mean,
thank you.
It was brutal. Brutal. Yeah. So I was like, at 52, I'm like, I've had years to go. This is what I've learned.
Yeah.
But there are those days where it's brutal. And you just go, what happened to this child? What's wrong with her?
I'm in a preteen parenting class right now, just so I could start, because we just hit 12, so we could start to, I want to be prepared.
Parents unite.
For all of it.
Yeah, unite.
Because I'm sure I think it's all coming. It's all coming. And I just want to be prepared for that big shift.
And to love them in the midst of setting major boundaries.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's a new path that we're going down for sure.
And I'm on the other side of it, so I'm like,
yes, you're like, it's great.
It was crazy then, but now I feel good. Yeah,
it was so good.
Now I can set the tone.
So you moved out to Nashville.
Yes.
To a farm.
Yes.
And you guys built this beautiful home with this incredible view. It's such a romantic thought. Like I saw videos of the property, and it's like the history is there with these. I saw the headstones on the property.
Wasn't that? Yeah.
And you built this beautiful home facing this incredible view, and you have cows, and you have
cows
chickens,
and kitties and goats, and it's really amazing. My husband had always dreamed of living on a farm. All of his ancestors are from Tennessee. They had tobacco. They had tobacco barns. They grew tobacco.
Yeah.
So his dream was always to live in the country again. And I grew up in New Jersey in a very rural area. So we thought, well, let's just do it. Let's just go try to live our dream.
And you totally have built something very special there.
Thank you. We love it. We really do. And we love when people come to visit, because we think, okay, if for one weekend they can just kind of unplug and just rest, if we can provide that for them, we love that.
But it's so inspiring. It is so inspiring. I cannot even tell you.
You can do it.
I will.
Do it.
I will.
You will do it. I think you will.
I'm already
totally
doing a version of it. But I've always said that. But to actually see somebody who's done it for all the right reasons, obviously, which I totally admire. But then you, through this process, moving to the farm, giving up the job, hoping that one day maybe you could get it back. And he's working in music. Things have picked up.
Yeah.
You go back to work.
Yeah.
And you're back in LA.
It was so, what happened is my husband got a job on General Hospital. So we were like, okay, well, the kids are still in school, so let's keep our place. We never let go of our
place. In LA? Or
in Tennessee.
Okay,
we were like, okay, but now we're going to travel back and forth with Scott, because, we don't want to be without him.
Yeah.
So we came out here, and the kids and I would kind of go back and forth, but we would mostly stay here with him.
Yeah.
So we did, our son did some homeschooling, and then our daughter did some homeschooling.
God bless you
so
again.
The four of us. But you know what? No, but it was all online.
Okay.
It was all online.
I
didn't do one thing.
I always, moms that say they homeschool, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was, the programs they have online are incredible.
Great.
So they, we have always been together no matter what decision we made. And then sweet Frances Reed, who played my grandma on Days of Our Lives, she passed away. And they said, would you come back for a tribute show to Frances? And I was like, absolutely. When do you want me there? And then just from there, it sort of went into like, well, we're in LA. I guess I could go back. I never thought this could ever happen again, but yeah, I'd love to go back. And then Scott stopped working at General Hospital, and he's like, back to Nashville. So I was like, yes, let's go. So we gave up our apartment here and went back to Nashville, and now I just commute back and forth.
So how does that work? Like logistically, how does that work? Because daytime television is an everyday thing,
Yes.
super, super intense.
Well, the incredible part about that now is that we have 1 week off every single month.
Okay.
So we do about 9 or 10 shows a week. So we actually have more time off than we ever used to have in the old days, because it's
I love that you say the old days.
I know, the 80s. The 80s, we used to be there like 6 in the morning till who knows when. So it is actually doable to live somewhere else and still work our schedule.
But do you go back on the weekends?
Well, like this week, I only worked Thursday, Friday, and last week I only worked Thursday, Friday. So I would have gone home probably for this chunk, but I had a couple things to do in town.
So you sort of navigate it weekly?
I'm off. Yeah, I navigate it weekly. Southwest.
I'm
going to work for Southwest.
You're going
when
to
I'm
work.
done
Your miles.
I'm going to be a flight attendant
So
next.
you just sort of see what your schedule is, and you go back, and then come here, and you're in an apartment here. Or?
My in-laws live. The whole
in-laws.
Reeves family lives here, so I always get to stay in somebody's house. So it's like family. It's the best.
But just for people to understand, like if this is in your heart and this is, something you desire for yourself, for your family, for whatever reason, quality of life, or, you think it's going to be better for your soul, or it's doable.
It is doable. And it was, I know people might think, well, they were on TV, so they can just go off and do that. It was interesting because we lived in Nashville without a paycheck for 5 years. And so, you're like, okay, there's no work. It's okay, but we're good. But we're at the dinner table every night, and we were just
5 years.
That's
just, in the entertainment business for all of us, it's like the ebbs and flows, right? It's going to be scary times.
Really scary.
Sometimes you work, sometimes you don't work. You got to save up for those times you don't work. It's not like that consistent sort of job. But you had the Airstream.
We had a trailer.
You had a trailer.
And it was amazing. It is amazing. Well, now we hooked it up on our property. We're like, this is the most incredible memory. We can't get rid of this.
Ever.
So now it's a little guest house where people can come and stay in the trailer.
Well, I just have to say, I cannot even tell you, like I said before, how much I admire you for, you are fearless. You really are.
You're so sweet.
No, you really are. Just because you have been fearless in your pursuit of happiness and intuitively knew what was the right choices and decisions for your family, and you did it.
But I love that.
You did it.
But you can too. And I love that as women, that we have such a fierce love for our families that we'll do whatever.
Yeah.
We'll do whatever to keep our families together and strong. I know, every woman is like that.
Yeah.
They're like, my family's everything.
But the thing is, you actually took action. Yeah. And I want you to own that, because that's a big deal. I mean, that's what Reshape is about, specifically
I love that. Yes,
desiring, wanting something better for yourself, and get out of your own way, get outside of fear.
Yeah.
And encouraging them to do it.
Yeah.
To do it, to live your best life, to, create a life
and
that you absolutely love. And you can, in whatever aspect, whether it's your health, your relationship, moving to a farm.
I always say God didn't create us with a spirit of fear.
Yeah.
He just didn't.
It's either love or fear.
Yeah.
So choose love.
That's right. That's right.
Choose love, everybody. Thank you, Missy. Awesome.